Congratulations, you just released one of the most popular hit records in the world. You sold over 1 million units, you went platinum, and even got nominated for a Grammy. The bad news is that you owe your record label $500,000. How in the world did this happen? Well, it all started when you were an up-and-coming artist that caught the eye of a record label. They stroked your ego, said that you would make the next big thing, and offered you a contract. They gave you a 10% royalty and a $250,000 advance to make the killer album you've always dreamed of. Gone were the days of limited production budgets and cutting corners. Your creative talents were finally going to be completely unleashed. Feeling great about yourself and ready to plow forward, you enthusiastically signed the contract. Unfortunately, you did not seek knowledgeable counsel to help you navigate the finer points of the deal, and that's where things came off the rails. First, let's look at that $250,000 advance you were given to make your album. You spent it on the best recording studios, legendary producers, and talented mixers. The final album is killer, but your advance you just spent is designated in your contract as a loan that must be repaid to the record label. You missed that point when you signed the contract, and now you're $250,000 in the hole. No worries, your album takes off like a rocket, and you sell 1 million units. At an average retail price of $10, that's $10 million in total sales, in which you own a 10% royalty. That's worth $1 million to you. Problem solved. But your contract states that your royalty percentage applies to wholesale figures, not retail, which instantly slashes that $10 million figure into half, along with your royalty check. Now comes death by 1,000 paper cuts. Your contract also states your royalties are calculated after a 3% deduction of breakage fees. This is an archaic concept related to the shipment of vinyl records, and it has nothing to do with your digital sales. But the clause was never negotiated out of the contract on the front end, and now you're going to have to pay for it. Next, 4% is deducted for uncollected assets, which accounts for retail outlets like Borders going bankrupt and returning all your albums they accepted on consignment, which again has nothing to do with your actual sales that primarily took place on iTunes. Per the contract, another 2% is deducted for free goods sent to radio stations and other industry influencers needed to promote the album. This responsibility could have been shifted to the record labels, but you missed that point too. 4% is removed as part of a container fee that deals with CD jewel cases and printed materials. Again, a total disconnect from the digital world which now dominates. And 2% is deducted for reserves. What are reserves? Who even knows? But it was in the contract that you signed. So when all the contractual deductions are totaled, combined with your $250,000 advance that must be repaid, and then applied your 10% royalty on wholesale figures, you owe your label $500,000. Despite this cautionary tale, record labels are largely a good thing for artists' career. But the label is understandably looking out for its own best interest first. And as an artist, you must be savvy enough to do the same thing and negotiate the deal that best makes sense for you. I'm Marty Frascogna, entertainment lawyer and strategist.